Awake, Free, and Ready community. Awaken your soul, free your mind, and get ready for what's next. Good day, my friends. Hope you're doing great. Happy Friday, which means it's Fearless Friday, and we are live here at Awake, Free, and Ready. Hope your week has gone really well and that you got the things you wanted done, and that you're feeling rested, you're feeling like you've got things accomplished and ready to enjoy your weekend, whatever that's going to look like for you. All right, so let's get to it. I want to talk to you today about a topic that's really bubbling up of late. I've seen it a lot, and it's about what I call the background people. Now, I've talked about this in my coaching many, many times, and I've actually done some videos on it on my YouTube channel. And it is about a concept that Dolores Cannon, what a great soul she was, and she passed away a while back.
And we are moving into a new world, and it's beyond anything you could expect. But it's too late to turn back now. It's in the process, and it is happening.
And she touched on the topic of the backdrop people. And essentially what that is dealing with who's in your current reality. And I like to call it the background people. Yeah, now that sounds like the title of some very macabre and mysterious movie. The background people. But you've heard the idea that you are the director, the script writer, the producer, and the casting director of your movie that is your life. And you have the ability to basically discern whether or not your life is a daytime drama or an Oscar-winning movie, high adventure, whatever you choose. Now, when you are creating a movie, if you were the director, whether it's a movie or a television show, there has to be casting for extras. These are the people in the background, so that when they roll, they'll typically say, okay, position one, everybody, position one, and then countdown rolls and action. And then the people start moving. And then the main characters come into the scene and they do their thing. Meanwhile, it might be in a city, it might be in an airport, it might be in a restaurant, and the dialogue is front and center. But there's people in the background chatting it up, doing their thing. But you don't really hear what they're saying. It's just implied that they're there for the same reason the main characters are. So imagine, if you will, you've created a scenario, you've created a reality, and our existence could very well be a hologram of our own creation. And each one of us creates the reality that we need to create for our highest and greatest growth. And the background people is a very interesting concept. When you think about it, they don't have a acting or a speaking role. They don't have a script. They're just there to chat. And I can remember a time when I was doing this coaching call or a session, and I lived in a condo downtown. It was a high-rise, beautiful view, and I overlooked a transit station. And every 5 to 10 minutes, a train would roll up and people would get in and people would get out. And when I was learning more about Dolores Cannon's idea of the backdrop people and how they don't have a speaking role, I was looking at the train and I got my client to, look at that train. And as the people were coming out, are they creations of our reality? There they are. It's a transit station. We created this construct of a transit station. Therefore, there has to be people that come and go. And there's a person sitting on the platform waiting for the next train. The question was, did I create that individual to be there? Now, here's where it gets interesting. What if I was to run down and interact with that person? Would they be a person that I could truly engage with? Because remember, this person is just an extra. They do not have a script. They were not put into my reality with a speaking role. So when that happens, they might just think I'm weird and run away, or stammer, or not know what to say. And you've experienced this, perhaps in a dating scenario, or a sales situation, or you were just trying to make conversation at a social gathering, and you entered the situation, and yet you could not engage them. They were just blank. They were just out of it. They just were not ready to engage. And perhaps you thought they were rude or weird, or their behavior was just different. What if it wasn't about you? And a lot of people will take that interaction and take it as a hit. Well, I can't believe how rude they were, or standoffish. I can remember many times where you ask someone for a dance when we used to have those things, and no, thank you. No, I'm not interested. And you got turned down. But what if they're the background people and they weren't meant to have a speaking role or an interaction role in the movie of your life? It really starts to get intriguing that you interacted with someone that wasn't meant to be in a speaking role. So therefore, you messed up the script. That this illusion, or this hologram reality has been meant for you. It really makes things really interesting that we can create a whole lot of people to fill up the gaps. And when you have a difficult time interacting with someone new, could they be the background people? I want to caution you also, though, that when you understand this on a greater level, that it's not about being better than. It's not about placing judgment that, oh, they're just the background people in my life and I'm the star here. It's not about that. It's just understanding that if this is a reality of our creation, in order for that reality to be full, then people have to be a part of that. Every one of us has background people in it in order to fill up the lives that we have. But it gets really, really interesting when we see the background people as a new possibility for our reality. And it could also make life a little easier, that it's not about you. It's not about how you showed up. It's just that they weren't meant to have a speaking role or elevated to a starring role. And when you grok this at a deeper level, imagine the script that you can start to create, that you can perhaps create your reality, that if you are going on vacation, that you write the script that when you get to the airport, that you don't need a whole lot of extras. And typically, airport just packed. It's craziness, it's bedlam, it's long lineups, it's nuts. Because we're feeding into a construct that the media is putting out that airports are a mess. But imagine, if you will, that you put forth the intention that I don't need a lot of background people today. I don't. I just need me, and I'm going to interact with a few people that need to be there. Perhaps the agent, the airline agent, and the security TSA people. Yeah, and then you're also going to be at your gate. You have to interact with the airline staff. All right. And then there's going to be the people that need to be on the plane. And there's going to be people that are getting on other planes. But it's a light load today. And envision that as a possibility, that you're creating your reality and you don't need a whole lot of background people today. And imagine that and see what happens in spite of what you've been told. No, you don't need to have airline chaos. No, not you. You are writing this script, and it's a damn good one. And then perhaps you can start writing in some people that could have a starring role. Now, if you're single, maybe you could write in a starring role of a new possibility for a relationship, a new romantic encounter, whatever that's going to look like. Or perhaps you can write in a business opportunity that you're going to be sitting next to someone that could perhaps change your life, that could introduce you to other people or would be intrigued with what it is that you do and perhaps even hire you. You could put that into your script. So the background people have to fill a role. And when you look at the world as a hologram, and that all the people that you interact with, the people that are on the highway, on your commute to work, start looking at the possibility that you manifested them to be there. And be curious. Start looking at the people with new eyes, a new sense of curiosity, a new sense of fascination. Like, wow, I created them to be a background person. And have some fun with this. Just run up to a random stranger and just see how they interact with you. Remember, they don't have a script. And just see if they're going to engage and do some improv. Just off the cuff, without a script. And it can be an interesting experience or experiment in life. Throw a few curveballs in there. We create our own reality. We do. We are creating it on every turn. We do not have to go through life as a programmed reality. Just like in the Matrix, there are rules, and these rules are made to be broken. And you have the power to break them. You do not have to be confined to the reality that you believe you're confined to, that this is the way it is. You can start stretching and seeing what's possible. So these background people are there to serve a purpose. And what that purpose is up to you. When I really started to understand this, it truly fascinated me. You know, and to the point where there might be, I use the analogy of the transit station that was below my condo. That the trains come and go, and also buses go there too to interact and people transfer and whatnot. But sometimes those buses, do they even have to be filled? Do they have to be filled? Maybe there's no one in there. Maybe you're at the airport and there's planes at the other gates. Is there anybody in them? Does there need to be anybody in them in order to fulfill your perspective of the reality that you're creating? It really gets fascinating. I know this is a mind blower kind of idea, but when you expand your consciousness to allow for the possibility that you have way more power than you give yourself credit for, it can really open up new possibilities. I challenge you, have some fun with this. Go for a run and see if you can open up the veil behind the reality that hasn't caught up to you yet. Just like in The Truman Show, when he starts to get wise to something not being right, he starts to push the agenda. He starts to see things for how they really are. And all the background people that are in that are all actors. And they all have a role. But once they're challenged beyond that role, things start to fall apart. And they scramble and they don't know what to do because they've only been hired to do this thing in Truman's world. And he starts messing with them. And he starts to have fun with it. So you have that ability to perhaps mess with your reality. Once you see it from this background people, or backdrop people, as Dolores Cannon mentions, just check it out. See what comes up for you. You have more power than you can possibly imagine. All right, my friends, that's what I got for you today. I hope this was of value to you. If it was, I would love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Leave a comment on what your thoughts are in regards to the background people. And have you had any interesting or bizarre interactions with people where you were in a situation where all the people in that room were just off? Something wasn't quite right. Like the level of consciousness was like down. And no matter what you did, you just did not feel like being there. That, my friend, might be because you were in a room full of very unconscious people that were just there to fill the space. Yeah, just think about all those places, times, and events that you were at. It's interesting. Start looking at people with a new lens. But remember, you're not there to judge. You're not putting yourself in a better than situation. They're just there to be part of your reality. And what you make of it is up to you. All right, be good to yourself. Thank you for joining me here on Awake, Free, and Ready Live. I wish you all the best, and you know that you are here to awaken your soul, free your mind, and get ready for what's next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be good to yourself. And keep smiling. You are an amazing, noble warrior. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.